If you're feeling exhausted, overwhelmed, frustrated, angry, just trying to survive, and you want to bury your head in the sand some days, it would be completely understandable because we live in an incredibly chaotic world right now. We are bombarded with negativity and fear. We are pitted against each other, and we are fed mindless entertainment that might work for a few minutes to help us feel better, but essentially doesn't solve any problems. Then you are in the right place, because I want to offer you one question that you can ask yourself that can help shift you out of negativity and into a world of joy, peace, and abundance. So stay with me. Hello, magnificent human. My name is Elyse, and I wrote The Realm of Unity, a utopian fantasy or a guidebook home to yourself. I'm here to help bring more joy, peace, and abundance into your life. So, what is this most important question? The question is this: what do you want? I'm going to say that again. What do you truly want? Truly, truly, in your heart of hearts, what do you want? If anything were possible, what do you want? We are conditioned to complain. I scroll on Facebook and I just see everybody complaining about everything and all the problems of the world. I don't like this. I don't want that. I don't want that president. I don't want that person in charge. I don't want this policy. I don't like this. I don't like that. People are arguing. There's blaming, there's shaming. I see, look at me, I'm complaining in a really creative way. Woohoo! No judgment. It's just what I see. Then there are people who are demanding change and pushing solutions, which is preferable to complaining. But when we assume that everyone needs to do something, we end up back where we started, fighting, complaining, and arguing. In 2019, I became obsessed with collapse. I joined the Near Term Human Extinction Facebook group. I read voraciously about all the dire situations in the world, all the wars, our precarious financial situation, our utterly hopeless environmental predicament, our financial disparities, deep trauma that seems to exist in every single human, and essentially everything horrific going on in the world. Needless to say, I was a depressed mess. I definitely got a dopamine hit from going on to Facebook to complain, but it didn't really bring me any joy. It didn't uplift me. It didn't make me feel like I had a sense of purpose. And I definitely did not feel like an abundant woman from doing all of this. I felt vindicated and I felt angry, upset, and sad. So one day I decided I wanted a more joyful life. I started a journal and I wrote at the top, my joy journal. Because the one thing I know in my heart of hearts is that no matter what happens to us, no matter what happens to humanity, the one thing that is forever is consciousness. And the one thing I can control is my response to the world and how I show up in the world. And I want a world of joy and peace and abundance for everyone. And so I decided to write, what kind of world would I create if I had a magic wand? What if I could create anything? And the magic that flowed from this experience led to the publication of my newly released book, The Realm of Unity. And because I so deeply desire this for you too, I want to share a process that can help you find your own heart's calling and bring you more joy and purpose too. When you focus on what you want to create, the whole world starts to shift. So I ask you again, what do you want? Now, when I ask you what you want, the first thing that generally happens is a whole laundry list of everything that you are demanding of the universe. I want $1,000,000. I want more sex. I want to lose 30 pounds. I want a trip to the Bahamas. I want to eat chocolate for breakfast. I want to drink wine at night and sit in front of the TV and watch Netflix all day in my PJs. Typically, what comes out when you start to explore what you want are all the unmet ego desires. And that's fine. It's really important to get those out because there are nuggets of truth in every desire. I suggest we mine our desires for gold. I'm inviting you to discover the deepest desire of your heart. I have a teacher who says, your desires are divine. What that means is the deepest desires of your heart point to your soul calling and purpose. When you access the deepest desire of your heart, you start to contribute to a more beautiful world for you and everyone around you. So what do you want? Here's the exercise. I want you to pull out a journal or a piece of paper and write what I want at the top. And give yourself permission to write down all the desires that come up. It doesn't have to make sense. They can be conflicting desires. They don't even have to be realistic. Okay? This is just a brain dump and it's just for you. In this situation, I want you to imagine that nobody is judging any of this. Nobody is there to tell you that you can't do it. There's no limitation on money. Nobody you have to appease. No spouse you have to check in with. No kids you have to consider. This is just a brain dump exercise to help you figure out what you truly want in your heart of hearts. So take 3 to 5 minutes and write down everything you can think of. $1,000,000, go to the Bahamas, a Gucci handbag, a Nordstrom shopping spree. I want to lose 30 pounds, find my soulmate, have a baby, start a nonprofit, visit the Amazon rainforest, a blue Volvo XC90, a new house, a garden, a gourmet chef, a new mattress, big or small, write it all down. Doesn't matter. Just get it out onto the page. So initially, many of the desires will be ego desires. An ego desire is coming from your conditioned mind. In other words, it's not yours. There are other people's desires that have been implanted into you by old conditioning, media propaganda, unhealed wounds, and past trauma. Advertising is designed to tap into the human psyche and make you want things that you don't actually want. Family members, friends, loved ones unintentionally try to convince you to want something that is actually their desire. When you have unhealed wounds, as we all do, there will be unconscious desires to create situations to heal those desires. For example, you may choose to have a baby simply out of guilt for a past abortion. You may choose to take over the family business because your father died at a young age and you feel a certain obligation. When we begin to name what we truly desire, we often bump into the voices that say, you can't, or it's too late, or who were you to want that? We start to see how often we've settled for just a surface level of satisfaction. We go for a quick getaway when what we really need is a month-long vacation. We settle for small pleasures that soothe us for the moment, but they don't actually reach the depth of what we truly long for. You might start to notice how often you postpone your dreams for someday or later, only to find out that that later time, you just don't have the physical capacity to do the thing that you were hoping to do, and maybe that desire has even gone away or changed. So when you start to bring awareness to all of this, something beautiful happens. You start to recognize which desires were never ours to begin with and which are truly coming from the soul. Longings that are just waiting for us to listen. And then comes the choice to either keep living a life that is not really in alignment with who we are, or to begin waking up and walking step by step towards what our heart is truly calling for. So this is a powerful exercise to get clarity on what you want. Do this exercise every day, and you start to see things that emerge. Feel into each of those desires and circle the ones that make you feel really good. And when you do this day after day and you really start to feel into those desires, there are certain patterns that will emerge that will start to point you in the direction of your soul's calling. Those things that will really, truly light you up and help you align with those things. You want to find those things that bring you the most peace and the most joy. If the first thing that comes to mind is, I want $1 million, then the next question I would ask you is, why? Why do you want $1 million? Go deeper and discover what is underneath that. Because it might be that you want to travel the world, or it might be that you want to quit the job that you're working, or it might be that you want to start a nonprofit, or it might be that you want to feel more safe and secure, or maybe you want to do that big home renovation that you've been dreaming about. Mine the desires for what is truly, truly underneath that desire and go for that. Who are you? And what are you here to give this world? When you mine your desires, you begin to unearth your deeper gifts. In order to give your gifts to the world, you must first learn how to receive. The universe is an abundant place. It's raining gifts down upon you all the time. You can have what you want. You can choose whether or not to receive those gifts. So when I was a kid, I was taught that I couldn't have what I want, or at least not right away. Most of us have heard that the delay of gratification is the most significant predictor of success in the world. And while I believe there is truth to that, there's also something distorted about this. Delay of gratification means trusting that the universe is working for our good, and that stuffing our face with a marshmallow the moment it's presented may not be the best idea. There might be more goodness that comes from not satisfying all our ego desires as they erupt. But what I'm suggesting is that when you allow your deepest heart desire to be fulfilled quickly, you're actually creating a more beautiful world. Waiting for the good to come someday may be the very thing that is limiting your ability to receive. So I'm here to say that you can have everything you want. All your dreams can come true. But the caveat here is that you are not going for your ego desires. If you're going for that quick fix, like eating an entire box of cookies, it might feel good in the moment, but it will never bring you peace and joy, and actually is the path to continued frustration and upset. Because we are here for so much more. The truth is, you don't really want that box of cookies. What you want is to stop the pain for a moment, and the box of cookies feels good for a second. But after that box of cookies, you feel bloated, you feel sick, like you want to throw up, you wish you hadn't done it. So I'm trying to distinguish here between the ego desire and the soul desire. My goal here is to help you tap into your soul's desire and pursue those that truly, truly matter. And trust that you can actually have what you want. You can have true peace. You can have happiness. You can have all the love you desire, the body you want, stellar health, all the money and abundance that you need to share your gifts with the world. You can have a beautiful home, gardens, fresh fruit, travel, everything that you want. The universe is a benevolent place. The universe is kind of like the wise parents. When the wise parents look at their child, they don't want their child to simply fulfill their addictions. They understand that that is a path to pain and suffering. The wise parent understands that delay of gratification of the ego desires makes sense. But the wise parents also want the best for their child. They want their child to be abundant and happy and loved. They want them to follow their heart and be satisfied with everything that comes to them. Think of the universe as your wise parents who want the very best for you. The universe wants us to have all the love and abundance and beauty that we can hold. The gift is that when you align with the deepest desire of your heart, it always benefits not only you, but everyone. The damage that occurs from following our ego desires is that you cannot show up in the world as who you truly are. When you're filling your life pursuing ego desires, you aren't aligned with your purpose. Your gifts are falling by the wayside. You aren't in alignment, and this creates all the discord in the world. And this is why I harp on this point. When you hone in and identify your deepest desires, you start to align with your soul and access your intuitive wisdom. The deepest gifts start to emerge. For example, I never thought I would be a writer. And there have been times in my life when I've had little nigglings to start writing, but I never did. I didn't think it was possible or that I could do it. I had other things that were more pressing, other things that seemed more important. But once I started writing, it was a miracle. Things started flowing through me. I started to feel more joy. And the more I wrote, the more joy I felt. And the more joy I feel, the more I want to write. There's an alignment that happens. It is the gift of alignment with your deepest joy that brings you everything you desire. So again, what do you want? If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. I would love to hear from you. What is the deepest desire of your heart? I hope this was helpful, and I send you so much love.